Okay, I just want to start by saying thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should start right to the beginning. How did your love of theatre begin?
Oh my goodness. Well, I grew up in a small town in the Midwest
Hmm.
in a state called Iowa, if you've heard of it.
Hmm.
Oh, yay. Even like Americans don't know where it is. It's fine. But I fell in love with dance really was
Hmm.
like my first big passion in life and finding dance and theater was just like my escape and
Hmm.
such a way for me to express myself as like a really energetic, emotional kid. But it was like in the cornfields. I feel like it just was a very safe space for me to be myself
Hmm.
and like find myself and express myself
Yeah.
as a youngin.
Oh, amazing. And how did that then transition into writing your own material?
And that's a great question. There's days where I'm like, I don't know how we ended here. I think that like I always loved writing, like
Hmm.
genuinely always really had a passion for it. But I really put that on hold and pursued dance like full
Hmm.
time, as I'm sure we'll get into even more. But
Hmm.
um, it definitely took me a while, and not to give away the whole plot of the
Hmm.
show, but How to Give Up on Your Dreams is about giving up in a fun way. No, it's about just like transitioning into a different dream.
Hmm.
And it was definitely like a very difficult process letting go of like one
Hmm.
goal that I held onto my whole life. But writing my own material, I found very like freeing.
Hmm.
And, as like a chorus girl, there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of,
Hmm.
I don't know, just like structure around it. And I found that writing my own material just gave me back so much more autonomy as an artist and
Hmm.
as a creator. And I think that, yeah, I just like I fell in love with writing my own material and as having that as an outlet.
And so is How to Give Up on Your Dream just sort of the first time your writing is going to stage, or has there been other shows?
So I have done How to Give Up on Your Dreams a couple of times.
Hmm.
Couple like a lot. I I did it last year in Edinburgh.
Hmm.
Um, I did the New York Fringe this year. I've done it in Austin and a few times here in New York. So that show's been with me for a couple of almost 2 years now.
Wow.
Yes, and then I'm a stand-up, so I write other
Hmm.
material and stand-up
Yeah.
sets and stuff. And then I just had another solo show
Wow.
I know, open in August called Bride to Be. I know, I'm too much. But but Give Up was my first like really like long form
Okay.
solo show project.
Hmm. You obviously touched on it there, but where did the idea of How to Give Up on Your Dreams come from?
Yeah, I mean it definitely was like life experience
Hmm.
and I think that when I was kind of like transitioning from the life of a dancer into a comedian, which weird, like who does that? I don't know. But I think it was just like a really tumultuous time for me
Hmm.
emotionally. It felt like I was going through a breakup. Like
Oh.
dance had been the love of my life since I can remember. Like I spent 20 years dedicated to this craft. And so it felt really hard to walk away, but it felt good. But I just was dealing with a lot of
Hmm.
emotions. And I just started writing about it, and I just always felt like I wanted to write about, I guess, my love of dance
Hmm.
since it was, such a big part of my life for such a long time. And I figured if I had gone through this, like surely other people have experienced the same pain. And it was right around the pandemic or
Hmm.
right after the pandemic when, I mean, I knew a lot of my friends in New York that also were transitioning into different careers
Hmm.
or it kind of like, in a way, forced some people to
Yeah.
reevaluate, not always, um, I guess, like planned, but
Hmm.
it all worked out for the best. So anyway, yeah, that's all. I had a lot of emotion. So I just started writing about it.
So from that idea then, what was it like putting it to the stage for the first time, the building of the show?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Again, looking back, I'm like, how did we get here? No, I had taken a few like solo show writing classes,
Hmm.
that kind of helped me with like finding the overall structure
Hmm.
of the show. And I have a really amazing group of friends and comedians and writers here in the New York. And so I like had invited them to come to one of my readings and give me feedback. And one of my friends uh, was like, I'll direct it for you. And in
Well,
I know in my head, I was like, a director? I didn't even think about like how important is this? Like I really had no idea what I was doing. So my good friend Carly Palestina directed my show and has just like helped me so much being such a soundboard. But yeah, I think that like I really just started doing the show before it was ready, one might say. No, but like I really just one of my mentors, Christy Summers, always said like book the venue, write the show.
hmm.
So it was one of those where I had the concept and I booked the venue like a couple months in advance and just kind of threw it together and like every iteration of it since has been this evolving,
Hmm.
growing. Like I feel like I learn something new every time I do it. And then after the first run, kind of like tabled it and then wrote more and developed more
Hmm.
and yeah, and then I've seen like different other writing coaches and worked with like added some characters and so it's really like constantly evolving.
Hmm. Fantastic. Obviously, you mentioned it's based on your own experiences, and you've had feedback from friends and from performers alike. Do you think, what was it like putting your vulnerable stories to stage, actually putting those moments of things you've actually experienced onto the stage?
I think again in a way I do think it's like super freeing
Hmm.
to be so vulnerable on the stage and talk about, some of these like not always like sunshiny moments in your
Hmm.
life. But obviously through a lens of comedy,
Hmm.
comedy's such a coping mechanism for
Yes.
me. So is it healthy? We talk about
Yeah.
it in therapy, but it's definitely like one of those things where it's just you're taking back the narrative and
Hmm.
kind of taking ownership of like this was really hard for me and at the time I felt like a failure specifically like giving up on my dream but now I'm able to like take back the narrative and yeah, I don't know, explain it in my own words.
Yeah, totally. Obviously, you mentioned your background in dance and your experience in the world of dance. So why was it important that the show included some of those dance skills in it?
Yeah, I just always knew it was gonna have dance in it, but um that's such a great question. I think, like, again, one of my biggest loves in life has always been like the big show-stopping
Hmm.
musicals. And I knew I wanted these elements. Like, I wanted there to be music and dance and
Hmm.
heighten the scene. And I mean, dance for me was always like you have so much emotion
Hmm.
built up that words don't even
Hmm.
begin to express it. So, and although I don't dance professionally or like audition really for dance anymore, I still love it. It's
Hmm.
still one of my like truest, deepest loves of my life. And I also feel like while doing the show, while it is a comedy,
Hmm.
um, it almost gave me as a dancer permission to not be perfect and like have
Mm.
a little bit more fun with the movement. So the choreography, yes, there's technical elements, but then there's also like really fun, silly moments. There's improvised moments. There's,
Oh.
you know, moments
Mm.
that are not as like polished. And you kind of see the choreography throughout the show make that journey in terms of it starts off very structured, very technical, and by the end, I'm rolling on the floor.
So not only have you written the show, you star in it and you dance in it. So there must be pressure enough, but obviously it's a one-woman show, so you are the only performer on stage. Does that add even more pressure to you as a performer?
Here's the thing that I've learned. If you bill it as a comedy and people watch you dance, they're like, oh my God, you're the greatest dancer ever. And I'm like, you should have seen me in my heyday. Like, so I honestly don't feel a ton of pressure from that
Mm,
end of it. Yes and no. I always feel like my biggest pressure that I put on myself while doing the show is like, don't forget a word.
mm,
Is memory, even though it's all here, but when you're in a scene with someone and you go, your brain goes, like your scene partner can pull you back
mm,
or like have a lead in line. And whereas if it's just you on stage and your mind goes blank, you're
yeah.
on your own, babe. Like you just have to figure it out.
Mm,
So yeah, I definitely feel like there is that type of pressure. But I don't know. I also think my audience is my scene partner
mm.
in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, for those who haven't heard of the show, what can people expect from How to Give Up on Your Dreams?
Oh my gosh, it's whimsical. No, it's it's a really fun solo show. Again, it's about my life as a dancer
Hmm.
from the very beginnings. I talk about like my first dance recital. I was a
Oh.
troll, spoiler alert. And like I go to college for dance, this really intense kind of conservatory type program
Hmm.
that had a lot of like rules and regulations around it. I moved to New York, started doing auditioning in New York and yeah, it's just kind of about the life of a dancer
Mm.
and the ins and outs of being a dancer and about what like ultimately led me to, you know, having to step away
Yeah.
and um like deciding on my own that I want to do something else with my life, even though
Mm.
it's absolutely terrifying to change paths in
Hmm.
life. And
Totally.
it can be, yeah, it's like you're again
Hmm.
crazy. It's not like I'm gonna go back to school to be an accountant and actually make money. No, I said I want to be a comedian. So silly. But yeah, I know it's about following your passions in life and how life
Mm.
changes your passions sometimes, but that's okay. And you
Yeah.
just have to trust yourself and yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of yeah, fun dancing, fun
Yeah.
costumes, characters. There's just like it's got a whole lot of fun elements and
Mm.
theater deep cuts and yeah.
Obviously, I have to say, because I'm attending the show in London, and obviously, you've talked about how you are currently in America. So, what is it like bringing a show on such a long journey?
Oh my God, I can't wait to not be in America. Sorry, you can cut that out if you need to, but no, I'm really excited. I I did Edinburgh Fringe
Hmm.
last year, and I had such a lovely time and just like really enjoyed the UK in general.
Hmm.
Again, help us up. But I don't know, I'm just really excited. I definitely like there is a lot of pressure, but I feel like I feel really confident in my team that I've
Hmm.
built for this performance, and I feel like I've done the show enough. And again, I've taken it to Edinburgh, so I kind of have some idea of what to expect. I've also had friends that have performed at Greenwich Theatre and they loved it and
Hmm.
had wonderful things to say. So, and their team's been amazing. So, yeah, it's definitely stressful, but I'm really excited about it.
Hmm. How are you preparing then for that long journey? Because it's not a quick little 20-minute flight.
Yeah. Oh my God, great question. Well, here's something fun. I am getting married in 1 week, and I said we'll just do it all at once. It's
I was
fine.
just going to say, you said you've opened a new show, you're getting married, you're taking the show to London. Like, where do you
I'm
find
crazy.
time?
I don't know. I don't know. So quit your day job. I, how am I? I'm really delegating.
Hmm.
That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm really delegating a lot of I mean, you've met my amazing PR team and Rosalind, who's just crushing
Fantastic.
it right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's fantastic. So definitely worth every penny. So happy I have her. Um, yeah, I think that is super helpful. And I feel like, I don't know, I've just like I've done it enough times. It's
Hmm.
not like a brand new show, so I feel like I at this point know what I need to do to prepare. And
Mm.
yeah, once I'm married, cross it off the list, and then we're going into rehearsal crazy mode, and yeah,
Once
I don't
that's
know.
done, once I've just got a little marriage out the way, I'm gonna fly to
It just
London.
listen so lost. But it's also like a really exciting thing.
Hmm.
Obviously, like it's work trip for me, but
Yeah.
not really. Like this is the thing that I love doing the most. And then we're doing a little honeymoon in Prague after. So
Oh.
I know I'm just like really actually like so looking forward to it. And I feel like if you plan a wedding in the same year you plan a show in London, it's almost like neither of them seem that intimidating because you're doing both. So you're just kind of like decisions have to be made and we'll check them off and everything's going to be amazing. It's going to
Hmm.
be great. Yeah.
So, for the people of London, how would you describe your show in like 3 words?
Yay. That's the first one. No, it's definitely energetic.
Hmm.
I would say heartfelt and humorous.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So I'm coming to the end of my questions, but I have a couple more. So where can people stay up to date with you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram
Hmm.
at Megzi, Megsi _Lee, Megzi Lee.
Fabulous. And where can people get tickets for the show?
If you go to my Instagram, link in bio, or just search Greenwich Theatre
Hmm.
London, and it will be up there, and it's my face.
So I'll put the links in the comments below so people can scroll down and click away. But my final question is, what advice do you have for young people looking to get into the industry?
Oh my goodness. Really love it.
Hmm.
Really love it. Also, I think like it's a tough industry
Hmm.
in general, and you just have to do it for yourself. And I think that's something I have to constantly remind myself. You're not always going to get like the accolades that you
Hmm.
want, and it might take you it might take you forever, and then you might decide to go down a different route, whatever. But like the reason that we do,
Hmm.
perform art, all of that, it's never going to be for the money or the praise. Like it's got to be because you love it, and it has
Hmm.
to be something really deep and really internal. And just again, I'm not perfect at this all the time, but the more you can connect to your why and your
Hmm.
reason why you're continuing to show up, why this means so much to you to put art into the world, I
Hmm.
think that is like one of the biggest things for longevity as a
Totally.
performer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
fabulous.
don't quit your day job.
So I said at the beginning, but I'll end the same way. Thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. As I said, I'll put all the links in the comments so people can scroll down and click away. It's been a pleasure chatting to you, and I'm so excited to see the show in London.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Speak to you soon.